Let's now look at short selling. So, what is this short selling is all about? So, first to understand what is short selling, is there an opposite which is long selling? Is there a term called long selling? Of course, yes. You have something called as long selling. So, in this diagram on your right, it says going long. So, this is a normal one. On the right side, you have going long. You buy stock maybe on whatever date, maybe just for an example, on 1st of Jan 2024, with a prediction that yes, the market will go up over the period of time. So you buy stock, and maybe after 1 year or 2 year down the line, you sell that stock. So in that case, you sell that stock for profit, particularly if the share prices goes up. That's a normal one. That's the expectation of most of the long-term investor. At times, due to various factors, you got to sell it at a loss also. That also happens. Then also you sell. So these are the two combinations which is going to happen. But quite opposite is going short. You have to sell the share first and then you buy. That is what is short selling. But the point which will come to your mind is hey, how do I do it without buying the stock? How do I sell that stock? So that's where the short selling happens. So just think about it. How do I sell it without I don't have a stock? How do I do it? And how do I book profit? And that's where short selling comes. The way it happens is, if you look at this diagram, you will understand better. This is with an example. Say, for example, could be a broker. Most likely this happen with a broker. It is again, it's not necessary with a broker. He borrows. This is again an ideal, just an example. 10 shares of a company, this fictitious company, BM stock. So he borrows 10 stock. That is the first step of it, and then he initiates the selling process because he has not purchased it. No money transaction has happened. He just sells that stock, that 500, with the assumption when he borrowed it, it was just the 500 only. So maybe I'm just giving an example. On 20th of July is what he has borrowed, that 10 stocks of BMM for 500. So he has said, hey, I'll give it back in another maybe another 15 days time. Give me a fortnight, I'll give you back. But uh, uh, getting the stocks, he sells it at 500. So he sells it at 500. So that's where he has done a transaction. Sell transaction is done first, even though he has not purchased it at all. No transaction happened. The first transaction is sell. So that's where it is called short selling. The reason why he has done it, he has kind of a maybe insider information, speculative insider information, the stocks could fall, or on the whole, it is something like the stock market is going to fall. This could be of various reasons, something like recession has been announced by the West, or maybe some indicators in the developed economy is not good. Maybe they have raised the interest rate in Japan. That's where you find like maybe in the last week of July or 2024 or early August. I mean, the Nikkei index, that is Japanese index, dropped down. About massive drops were there. It went drop was about 10 to 15%. So that's where the stock market on the whole there was a fall. So when the fall happens in the developed market or developed economy like US, Japan, or Europe, this could reflect in other markets as well. It happened in India as well on 5th of August. Um, the stock suffered a loss. In that case, because keeping in mind you have to return back 10 shares of 500 of BM. So you, since there was a drop in the prices of the stocks, BM stocks, you buy it on the step number 4. You buy it for 400 because you have already sold it maybe a week before for 500. Now you buy it again. This is where you buy it again for 400 and return back the shares back to whoever you have borrowed. So that means you have gained $100 USD or INR or whatever it is. So he made a profit. This is just an example of just a small amount of $100. This could go into multiple thousands or 100,000 or whatever. So that will be a huge amount just in matter of few days, and that's where it is called short selling. It starts off with the process of selling, and then comes the buying process. So this is highly speculative. What if the stock doesn't fall? Then that's where the challenge is. And what if instead of 500 the stocks have gone to 600? So in that case, you have no other option. You have an obligation of returning back the shares. Then you make a loss. There you make a loss as well. That's also a part of the game. But generally, it's a matter of days, if not a week, or maximum of 10 days, in which all this transaction is made. But based on the predictions that the all the external factors, considering all the external factors, assuming the stock is going to fall in next few days, the investors could do this kind of a short selling where they borrow the stocks, initiate the first transaction of sell, and then buy back at a lower price and give it back to whoever you have borrowed. Particularly if the stock market falls, then you set to get a profit, book a profit. Otherwise, you might still end at a loss. So it's highly speculative, highly risky. Always, as a good investor, always look for a long term investment and long term sell. Maybe you need to, that's where, like, even the capital gains, even the government prefers the long term investors in the stock market. That's where even the taxation, if you look at it, taxes are less for if you hold the stock for more than a year, it's 12.5. If it is less, it's about the taxation on profit is 20%. So even government prefers, so that a small investor doesn't commit such mistakes. And probably if he's booking profit during this kind of taking this kind of an approach, then the taxation itself is higher. Short term capital gains are much higher than the long term capital gains. So sometimes they consider this taxation, and then that's where it's all about the volume business. They cover that taxation part. The profit is such a way that it covers the taxation part, and still you gain considerably with the taxation also. That's where probably they involved in the short selling. I hope with this example you understood what is short selling. On top of it, what is a long term investment along with the long selling as well. Thank you.